New Year's resolutions. Everyone knows them, most people have them, and of course, most people also drop them. That's why a lot of people consider them useless. Are they really though? I figured it would be a nice idea to talk about this for a little bit. The past few years, I actually tried to set resolutions for myself, and admittedly, most of the time I dropped them a few weeks in, or just simply didn't reach my goals. Will it be different this year? Maybe, but I will definitely try my best to not drop them. This year, for once, I tried to choose things that will be achievable. Small goals, as they say. Things you can pull off if you just keep at it. Naturally, I also want to keep going with regular exercise and learn new skills too. I actually started crocheting and even did my first little blob. He's sitting on my boyfriend's desk now, and the cats keep trying to kidnap him. I know though that I might not be able to actually keep at it unless I include them into my routine in some way or another, so I will definitely try to do just that. Of course I wouldn't make this video though if there wouldn't be some other slightly bigger goals I have set for myself. YouTube. One of my goals for this year is to actually start YouTube properly and obviously keep at it. So far, I've only uploaded time-lapses of my art very irregularly. At first I just exported the time-lapse from Clip Studio. Eventually I started setting myself up for failure by deciding it should be a time-lapse made from an OBS recording while I actively worked on it. Let's be honest, seeing what an artist does while they do it feels way more interesting and informative than just having the image create itself without actually seeing how or where the brush moves. I just eventually stopped recording my progress because I just got so unhappy with my art and felt like it wouldn't be worth it. This year I want to change that. I already decided for myself that even if I forget to record time-lapses, I can always just export the Clip Studio time-lapse and publish it as a short instead. For regular videos though, starting now, I want to release at least one video per month. It's not a huge goal, but it's realistic. I don't want to set myself up for failure once again, so I want to start with smaller goals. And at the end of this year, maybe I can actually go look back at this video and say, hey, I did this. Or not. But I don't want to think about that right now. I'm also by far not the best when it comes to editing, as obviously visible in this video. There was also some struggles I had making this video, like recording via OBS and MP4 format, and learning that every file became corrupt and unusable, somehow having to find ways to salvage what I could. Thanks to my boyfriend for figuring that one out. Unfortunately, this means I only have the line art process recorded via OBS, and I'm still somewhat frustrated about it. Kinda means that I know better for the future though. I already learned my first lesson. This video marks my first proper video this year though, and I already got an idea for the second one. If you have any ideas or recommendations, feel free to throw them at me. I'm always open to those, but I have a few things noted down to make sure I'll have ideas to keep working on. Art studies and goals. I've been so unhappy with my art for the longest time now, and I figured the best I could do is just try and not be unhappy. For some reason, the time around Christmas, my birthday and New Year's has been always giving me such a huge motivation boost. During November and especially December last year, I have probably been the most productive I've been in a while. I finished art and rigging of my new VTuber model. I've done 2 chibi commissions, 2 artworks that I've been somewhat happy with, 3 actually, but the third one is reserved for the next video. And I started a Christmas sketch that I never finished. And at the very start of this year, I started and finished to work on the artwork that is playing in this video now. So to actually come to the goal I've set for myself, I want to really do more art studies this year. I've tried doing some around the end of last year and actually also plan to make a video from it. So maybe that will happen in the future. But I feel like I haven't done nearly enough. You'll never finish learning with art, am I right? Additionally to that though, I have some art-related goals outside of studies. The most important one to myself is to finish at least one artwork per month of my avatar so that at the end of this year, I can have 12 artworks and possibly print a calendar for 2026, even if it's just for myself. The other goal is to finish at least one fan art for Arknights or Enfield per month. Maybe even add Digimon into the bunch. Having 12 fan arts at the end of this year would result in 24 artworks in total as a minimum. That would be absolutely amazing to me. Personally, I'd also like to include more backgrounds and scenery in general. I've always loved how atmospheric art can be, if you fiddle around with the backgrounds and lighting when you can practically feel the atmosphere. One day I'd definitely like to achieve that, just maybe not this year. Watching art streams and listening to some of my favorite artists and friends has been a huge motivation boost as well. I'm trying to distance myself more and more from the negativity around me, be it in my personal circles or just the internet in general. The toxicity is everywhere and it's honestly just so terribly exhausting. Which kinda also leads me to the last part on my resolution list. Don't be too hard on yourself and enjoy the little things. I've always been very critical when it comes to myself in kind of every aspect, be it art, my actions, hobbies, or just social interactions. I did, in fact, plan this a lot of times, not being too hard on myself and just accepting things as they are, but oh well. Growing up, I was a really sassy kid, but we eventually moved and I felt incredibly uncomfortable with my new environment. And due to several more personal factors, I turned into somewhat of a doormat. A people pleaser. Fearing to do things wrong, disappointing people, just generally not being liked. The thought of people disliking me made me feel like I am the issue, being the problem. Nowadays, I know that I'm not. Not everyone has to like me, and sometimes people hate others for non-issues, differing opinions, or just because they are simply jealous. I've also always tried to be perfect and do no wrong, and unlike my mom, who is very convinced that this is a positive trait, I would definitely consider it absolutely the opposite. Trying to never do a mistake, always being perfect, it's just exhausting. You worry about things that nobody else cares about or would possibly not even notice. I don't want to walk on eggshells anymore, so I really want to try to shake off that mindset. I've made great progress these past few years, but I'd say I'm not where I'd like to be yet. In the past, and even now still, I kept comparing myself to other artists I look up to, talking myself down, being worse than them. Remember the cake meme? That's totally me. And I gotta keep reminding myself that most people rather enjoy seeing more art instead of just the same piece of art. Like, would you want a cheesecake every day? Or would you like a chocolate cake once and then a cheesecake? But also, why do I compare myself in the first place? I know that it drags me down more than it does any good, so from now on I want to remind myself more often that it should be used as a motivation boost as well. If they got where they are with hard work and practice, why shouldn't I be able to? And also, why should I even try to reach an unrealistic standard that I set for myself instead of just enjoying the craft? Oftentimes in the past, I focused too hard on the result rather than the process of creating. I want to indulge in that more. Ultimately, I think all this means to me is to just enjoy the moment I live in more. Of course, I can try to nitpick and find issues where there is none, but I might as well just enjoy time as it is and make the best out of it. If today I bump my pinky toe into the next shelf, that's okay, cause 5 minutes later the pain is gone anyway and I'm happy and enjoying my favorite music and doodle again. All in all, I don't think resolutions are bad per se. I think it just matters most to set realistic goals and actually try to include those goals into the routine. Or keep things out that you want to get rid of. For example, if someone's resolution is to stop smoking, but it's so ingrained into their routine, the best to do is to replace it with something else. Imagine you take a big bowl and every time you think of smoking, you throw in 50 cents. If you smoke 5 cigarettes a day, you have acquired €2.50 per day. And at the end of the week, you'll have €70.50 and can enjoy a nice ice cream at a local shop. Or you just treat yourself and order takeout. It's always best to replace bad habits with good habits, or just including more good habits in the routine in general. It feels hard the first few times, but after a while it actually becomes easier and easier. And eventually you'll be surprised how natural it feels. I think that's enough yapping for this video though. I don't even have much to say and I still yap and probably forgot things. It's the second time of writing the script because I felt like adding a few things and just leaving out some others, and I would bet on forgetting something. But yeah. If you do want to follow me on my journey this year, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube or follow me on my socials. I actively use Twitter, Blue Sky and Discord. I also actively stream over on Twitch and possibly soon start multi-streaming on YouTube, if I figure that one out. Probably also on the VOD channel to just not interfere with my content here, since streaming is mostly gaming after all. If I can keep to my first resolution, I will definitely make a video at the end of this year, just to look back and see if I really kept to whatever I said in this video now. But until then, I hope you will have an amazing year of the wooden snake, and I will see you in the next video. Also, this is a promise, and if I don't keep to it, you are absolutely allowed to yeet me. Also, remember, it's never too late to set yourself goals. It doesn't have to be at the start of a year. You can do it whenever. I believe in you. You can do it. Chung just came onto my arm and just sits here now while I'm reading the script. Yeah, Chung.